Coming up on Mountain News this morning, there are questions being asked about the safety of a hazard apartment building before it was destroyed by a fire. And the man accused of shooting and killing a Scott County deputy faces another charge in the northern part of the state.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. The time is 6 a.m. on your Tuesday morning. I'm Keaton Hall. In Brandon, it was a little chilly this morning, a little hazy, a little foggy even.
A little foggy, a little bit chilly. I can agree with those. Potentially a little bit of haze. Waiting to see on that one because I think the wildfires have kind of died down a little bit up in Canada, which was giving us a lot of the haze. So we'll keep an eye on those for you. This morning we'll go down to, actually go up to the Mountain Parkway near the Wolf-Pell County line near Slade, and you see 49 up that way. Kind of a chilly start to the day. Not much traffic, a few clouds out there this morning. 46 in Irvin, 48 in Clintwood, and I think we're back to 50 in Jonesville. Well, that was our other 48 there. So we're watching Jonesville, Middlesboro, Williamsburg, London, and Moorhead to see if they're going to drop into the 40s at any point here in the next few minutes between now and 7 o'clock. 76 this afternoon, good looking day. Can't rule out a stray chance for a passing shower, which could happen in the early afternoon hours, but I think 90% of us stay dry. See what I did there? 90 and 10, 100%. All right, so what you get there as you go into the afternoon, I think we'll pick up a few more clouds at times, but it's going to be a fairly nice day, especially by June standards. I'll have more on the rest of that forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Keaton.
Thank you, Brandon. Dozens of people are without a home after an apartment building caught on fire in Hazard Friday night. But were they all in a safe place to live prior to the fire? WYMT's Chandler Wilcox investigates.
Tenants in the white apartment building that caught on fire were evacuated by Hazard Police. Those living in the Treehouse building, also owned by Carter Realty and Associates, had to be evacuated as well. There are now questions about the building's stability prior to the fire. The Public Protection Cabinet issued a stop work order back in March, and they even put this label on the door as a warning.
Now, there was rumors about like it wasn't supposed to be open, and we asked them about it, and they said it was just that lady next door just trying to start trouble.
Piper and Stamper lost their home in the flood. The next month, they saw a post from Carter Realty about available apartments in the Treehouse building. They decided to take a chance on it just to find a home, and they say the building was not furnished like they were led to believe. But Piper and Stamper felt like they did not have a choice.
At first, yeah. I mean, it felt all right. It felt like a home.
You know, after the flood, anything would feel like a home.
Now the couple is without a home once again, along with other families, and they have no desire to return. Building landlord Brian Carter told WYMT the Treehouse building itself is among the safest and most secure buildings that you're going to find anywhere in this town. Tenants will meanwhile be housed in a nearby hotel through this week. In Hazard, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
We reached out to the Public Protection Cabinet to see if it's legal to rent out the Treehouse building, and we have not yet gotten a response. A crash in Pike County closed a road for several hours. The crash happened on East Shelbyana Road near the Millard Bridge. 2 vehicles were involved. The road was closed until early this morning. We still do not know if there were any injuries or deaths. We'll update the story when we know more on WYMT.com. We now know the arrangements for a Harlan County teen who was killed in a UTV crash over the weekend. 14-year-old Timothy Hickson's visitation will be on Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Mount Pleasant Funeral Home in Harlan. Hickson's funeral will be Thursday at 3 p.m. That also taking place at Mount Pleasant Funeral Home. Hickson was just 14 years old. There has been an arrest in connection with a shooting that injured an Olive Hill police officer. Police say a SWAT team arrested a man just after 1:30 this morning along Laurel Creek Road in Lewis County. That's the same area where a large police presence was seen late last night. The shooting happened yesterday afternoon near the intersection of Cross and Railroad Streets in Carter County. Kentucky State Police says someone fired into an officer's cruiser, and the officer was injured by glass that burst in as a result of the gunshot. The officer was flown to a hospital in Huntington with a non-life-threatening arm injury. A Lexington man is behind bars accused of sexually abusing a woman and assaulting 2 officers on the University of Kentucky's campus. Mark Lindsay was arrested on Sunday. He's facing a list of charges, including assault and sexual abuse. His citation says he grabbed a woman beneath her skirt, then threw a bottle at a man who tried to intervene. Officers say he attacked them when they arrived. He's facing 9 charges in total. The man accused of shooting and killing a Scott County deputy is facing another charge, this time in northern Kentucky. A Kenton County grand jury indicted Stephen Shing Shang on charges of burglary and being a persistent felony offender. Shing Shang is accused of breaking into a home in Kenton County days before he was accused of killing Deputy Caleb Conley. He's facing murder, robbery, and assault charges in connection to that case. Yesterday at the state capitol, it was an important moment for families of victims who have been killed or left permanently disabled by people driving under the influence. Melanie's Law allows a judge to order a person convicted of a DUI to pay child support to the families of the victims they either killed or left permanently disabled, like Melanie Hull, who was hit by a drunk driver in July 2022. Her cousin and Senator David Yates sponsored Senate Bill 268. Melanie's family, including her mother and 8-year-old son Nolan, stood by Governor Andy Beshear as he signed this bill into law.
But I'm sad that Melanie can't be here. She's totally disabled, unable to speak for the most part, other than yeah or maybe no once in a while. Can't do anything for herself, but this is a true legacy for her.
Melanie was permanently disabled because of the crash. She's currently receiving care in hospice. Officials in Montgomery County are investigating a concerning discovery. People reported finding flyers in their front yards containing KKK propaganda. Police in Mount Sterling say the flyers were left on cars. Social media posts during the weekend claimed the flyers were also found in Paris over in Bourbon County. One man who lives in Mount Sterling area says he still feels safe despite the issues, but the president of the Lexington Fayette NAACP says people should be concerned.
The seed has been planted. You don't know who else has saw that. And just because this wasn't an indirect action, it could lead to direct action, violence or violent activities.
Whitaker says people should report any incident like this to authorities, but they should be taking other steps as well if they wish to enact change.
.607 here on this Tuesday morning. We're taking a look around there at Letcher County this morning, heading over to Whitesburg, the adopted hometown there, and you can see not too much going on. A few clouds, maybe a little bit of fog over town this morning. 51. It's a cool morning across the region. Irvin and Clintwood are in the 40s. We're watching those 50-degree temperatures there in Moorhead, London, Williamsburg, Middlesboro, Jonesville. See if they're going to drop into the 40s there. And the warmest spots in the region right now, Prestonsburg and Logan at 54 and Monticello at 55. Although here's the thing about that Monticello sensor. This is a sensor called Mattis, and it's a sensor that's kind of away from the airport. I think the airport sensor is always a little bit cooler, but I'd say we're closer to the low 50s instead of those mid 50s out there. Those sensors kind of wonky out there sometimes in Wayne County. Now we're heading into the mid to upper 70s for all of us later today, thanks to a mix of sun and clouds. As we head deeper into the forecast period, we're going to be looking at, again, a straight chance for a passing shower, but today and most of this week, not the concern. We'll talk about that concern as we head deeper into this forecast in just a few minutes. Keaton?
Thank you, Brennan. And thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up next, 2 survivors of a mass shooting at a university in Michigan accused the school of knowing about a severe issue with security and not doing anything about it.